So here we are in Dore, where the police have shown up to help AMEY shut down the roads and cut down one of Sheffield's finest avenue of cherry trees. So here we are on Abbeydale Park Rise. As you can see, lots of people in yellow jackets. This is what they've been doing to trees. Two tree guardians here, 3, 4 tree guardians here, quietly thawing. I wonder if an injunction will be served on them for obstruction of the highway. The whole of this road has got some beautiful cherry trees on it. The one that these three people stood against was subject to an attack in the middle of the night, around 4 o'clock. The arborist came and chopped all the branches off over the resident's garden, because that is trespass and they'd be stopped legally if the resident had been aware of it. So they came in the middle of the night and deliberately trespassed to chop the branches off just on one side, then left a big pile of branches in the road to obstruct people for several days, just to in spite, basically, just before Christmas. The injunction is based around trespass laws, and yet AMEY and these people are enforcing trespass law based action when they're quite willing to turn a blind eye to trespassers against people. The community around here are solidly behind their trees.
I've seen more threatening than the pigeons than us. I'm very sensitive.
I apologise for your sensitivity, but I'm not threatening.
Yeah, the community here are solidly behind saving their trees on account of them actually buying them over 40 years ago, and they celebrate their trees by decorating them with fairy lights. This year they raised well over, I think it was £1,000, it may have been much more, for St Luke's Hospice, using their fairy lights, because people around Sheffield come around Christmas to see them. It's such an impressive view. This view here will be completely changed if AMEY get their way. Just look at it now, and I'll try and insert some pictures of this same view in a few months' time, what it will look like stood here. It is absolutely crazy. There are tree campaigners from outside the road here, but a large proportion of these people are local residents. Hiya. I'm one of the ones from outside here, but that was a local resident that's been standing up to these people. This tree here was down for felling, and it wouldn't exist now if it wasn't for tree protesters. They were going to chop down this tree because of root disruptions, and after it was stopped being chopped down several times, they discovered the root was actually in the garden. The tree was in the garden, an old tree, and the root came from the garden. But that's typically the situation here. This tree was planted on behalf of one of the residents, now 80 odd years old, that doesn't want it chopping down. and she was one of the original people that went round and collected money to buy these trees over 40 years ago. So here we are, coming up to some people, a couple of familiar faces. Obviously very violent people. I'm just going to stop here and speak to these people. Another group of security guys loitering around, waiting for an excuse to drag people off the roads. Here's a tree still showing the fairy lights. Looks like someone's had a go at them here. There's a case out for criminal damage to fairy lights. These are the property of people. They've been doing this for 4 years. There's by virtue of the fact it's a sort of consent, and yet AMEY came and just hacked them all down. Regular, well, I say AMEY, Acorn people came and just hacked them all down. Regular AMEY personnel turned up at Russelings Road recently and rolled up the fairy lights and returned them back to their original positions. There's a nest up there. These trees provide a massive amount of honey for the local bees. A lot of bees will be out of food this year if they're cut down, and obviously they nest as well. I'm trying to work out how to live stream here, so I'm going to go off and ask a few people. So there's police say hello to the world. I'm trying to work out how to live stream. I think there was a couple of thousand people saw it. Anyone know how to live stream around here? Yeah. But why are you filming me at the moment? Am I doing something wrong?
No, I'm filming the general area.
To try and identify me?
I want to try and identify you. I'm filming our officer there and his actions.
Okay. I'll try not to obscure it.
Thank you.
But you can understand that people do feel quite intimidated by police showing up with...
Well, it's just the same as you shoving that in my face, isn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, it's the same principle.
Yeah, I concede that point, but there's more of a threat behind this, because it could be used against them in court.
Well, at this point we're not actually here to arrest anybody, are we?
The threat behind me filming is that it'll be shown to other people, and perhaps I might make some comments about it, but that could cost someone their house, what you're doing now.
Well, if that happens, then that happens, doesn't it? That's somebody breaking the law, if that's what happens.
Yeah,
at the end of the day.
Someone broke the law up there. They came in the middle of the night, hung over someone's garden, where they were expressly not allowed to. Yeah, the trouble is no one does anything about it when members of the public complain, but you guys show up in force to film us. Just in case.
Everybody, doesn't it? I'm here to protect everybody.
Yeah, the security guards say that, and I'm sure they wouldn't be here if they weren't being paid handsomely for the job. I know your job is other than this, but those guys, they're here purely to make money doing this. But they say that. So here we have one of the most iconic trees on the road being felled. And all this damage has been done by one or two people from Acorn Environmental that are here every time, that seem to be quite keen on this. One of them has been recorded as saying he looks forward to felling the trees on Western Park Road where the memorial trees are. Not one of these two, by the way. So the situation here is someone is in a tree. If she puts her foot over the fence, she'd be arrested for Section 303 of the Highways Act, something that attracts a £25 fine maximum, possibly £5 fine for every successive day. 3 people were arrested last week using that obscure bit of legislation, which is never normally enforced. Community officers are having to deal with the fallout from this action. Hordes of police, yet again. It's an army invaded Abbeydale Park Rise this morning. While the police were turning up in large quantities, large numbers in Nether Edge last week, a house was robbed, burgled, only a few hundred yards away from where they all were. Clearly, these aren't a tiny minority. These are residents protesting outside their own homes.
And this is my garden, and this is my part of the tree.
As you hit, here, well said. All these people enforcing an action that the community doesn't want because of some table thumping bureaucrats in the council, and AMEY trying to profiteer from cheaper road surfacing. This tree is not dangerous. It's almost as wide as it is tall. It's not going to hurt anyone. All it needs is simple maintenance. More people. You'll have to use 101 because these guys don't do anything. I'm trying to film the top of your head, mate. If you want to turn around into the So these people forced a person to stay up a tree on Thornton Road with the excuse that it was for that they were concerned for the welfare. When the person finally came down, he suffered an injury to his ankle while during the process of arresting him
Well, that was false arrest.
And that was for Section 303 of the Highways Act.
Well, being kept up that tree.
So these people are hacking away at a tree that clearly they can't fell because it oversails this person's garden. And unlike the times when they've showed up in the middle of the night to trespass over people's property to do this, there's a large audience here today, and the police can't ignore the trespass. We're filming. So there's no way they'll be able to cut that branch off because of this lady, and they're vandalising what they can. In the meantime, this is exactly what they do in the middle of the night when they come to trespass. They vandalise what they can and then run away. They did that last week on Thornset Road. They came in the middle of the night to chop down branches over property so they could do what they're doing now on during the day when the police were watching. The police don't investigate things like that, they just ignore them. These people bought these trees. They're not even, they were funded by the local residents. Here's a community officer helping enforce destruction of people's property against their will. Here we have the police with the riot van, well, observation van, filming. This sort of stuff is used against riots, and completely blocking off the road from this pedestrian. But this member of the public is trying to get out of the road. This is how our resources are being wasted in Sheffield. There's some bureaucratic jobs worth in the town hall, thumping their fists on the table. I bet you wish you didn't do that. I'll try not to put that on Facebook. There's some people, as I was saying, there's some people in the town hall that are just bureaucratic jobs worth that are causing all this cost in resources to the community, to the relationships between the police and the people that they're here to serve. So that tree has just been vandalised. Now they're stopping.
Tonight, are you gonna feel complicit? Complicit and complicit. I might have some tune for you, but let's warm up.
These guys don't want to work on my
What? Where are you going?
Let's just move it out there to turn the engine off.
To move it up out of the way so you can turn engine off.
Good. Of course. Coming down to the, filming the whole thing.
This looks like...
If you like to move, go and move us up, move up the road, please. No, we'll move to the side of the pavement.
If you want to step to either side of the pavement,
please can do. There's a pavement.
Can I go there, please?
Go where? What, onto the footpath down there?
That little street.
No, if you want to step up the footpath to either side, we'll give you a break.
Why? No, but it's not quiet.
Alright, I'm just making a record of what's going on.
Okay, that's fine. Then just don't into it. Obviously, we've put a line in for a reason.
Is this a public highway? Am I allowed to walk here? Am I allowed to walk on a public highway?
What I'm saying is, there's a line of us. We can't just actually wander around in front of everybody.
Is there some sort of special rules going on here? Is there a state of riot happening?
As they expect you can't. You're not obstructing these gentlemen.
I'm not obstructing. I'm not obstructing. I'm just taking a record of what's going on.
But you'll be able to record just from up here, won't you?
No, I want to record from behind you.
You won't be able to record from behind.
What's the problem? This is a public. This is a public road. I just want to go over there.
Yeah, but you can't be in front of that lorry while it's going.
You can't go there.
Move this way for us.
Why am I being pushed? This is a public footpath.
There's
This
a
is
road
a
closure in place under section 303 of the Highways Act, which has actually been explained to a number of people.
Why-
We're asking you to move out of the way, please.
What, I'm trying to walk down this footpath.
Move out of the way, please.
Is there some special rules being
I'll
applied
just
here?
explain that to you. Move forward.
Section 303 isn't special rules.
Move forward. Move forward. Move forward, boys. Just
Why-
keep
why-
walking up, boys.
I just want to
Okay,
do what
keep
he's doing
walking.
now. Record.
That's fine. Just keep walking that way for us.
I'm on the footpath. I'm not obstructing a lorry.
Because if you come to us, there's a chance that you'll walk just straight in front of the lorry, and A, that's a danger, and B, you may obstruct it further.
So you're restricting my rights because there's a chance I might do something wrong.
I'm restricting your right to prevent it, to prevent you committing an offence.
I'm not committing an offence. I'm not
Will be
trying.
if you
I'm not trying to.
prevent them from doing.
You have my word. I will not try to stop that lorry.
If you come around here, you'll be able to join where everybody else is, then you'll be alright, won't you?
This is a public road. Why can't I walk down here?
We'll just explain the situation.
Look,
first.
it's a
Move-
completely
move
empty.
back first, please.
So you're using special excuses now to restrict people's access to the public highway. This has been handled like a riot. Why are you doing this? These people live here. This is their street.
Move back first. Keep moving mind your feet. Mind your foot in on this. There you go. Keep going. Keep forward for us. Mind your foot in on this note. Just move back first, please.
I don't believe I'm committing offence standing here. I'm not obstructing that lorry. I'm tempted to just stand here and you'll have to arrest me.
Your colleagues have explained the reason why you...
No, you're using an obscure section of law.
Move back first, please.
Explain the situation, this chance of what the situation is. We're now at the point where we need to consider doing a rebuttal on someone's and take his details.
So you're threatening me with legal action for standing here on the
We've
footpath.
explained to you why you're with everybody else. We're trying to prevent these gentlemen from being impeded by doing their work.
I'm not impeding that lorry.
I know, but we can't just let you.
I'm stood on.
Where they are.
I'm stood on a public footpath.
You to join where everybody else is.
I want to film what's going on.
You can just come up here and film it from there.
I want to film it from this angle. That's all I want to do.
Just keep walking up there for us, and then just provoke it
I will.
yourselves into any trouble.
Now I'm actually behind the line.
I know. We're being very liberal with you about allowing you to do that, aren't we?
No, it's not liberal. It's my rights to walk on this pavement.
We've explained to you the reasons why.
No, you've got no right. You've got no right to stop me. I'm not obstructing that lorry over there. You can't threaten me with any sort of legal action for standing here on the road. I'm not doing anything wrong. This is ridiculous. This is going all over the social media, and it's ridiculous what you're doing here. These are residents that you're doing this to. This is your community policing doing this. So I've been threatened with some form of police action for standing on a... There's a woman there. You've just let that woman through. Why have you treated her differently to me?
Keep going for us.
Why aren't you arresting that woman over there?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah, well,
because that's what I was trying to do.
we'll have to deal with.
Yeah, okay.
But obviously, you just want to do that.
Can you just clarify, is there a restriction from walking down the pavement?
If we're happy, then I'm going to create a problem.
So you think I'm the problem, do you?
I think there's a number of people who are in the way, and we're trying to get a job done. Move forward, guys. You want to stop. If you want to walk down the side of the road there, you walk down the side of the road there.
I want to film what's going on.
Just walk. We can do that from the side of the road, can't you?
I want to film what's happening.
So you don't want to? Do you want to walk on the side of the road or not?
I want to film from behind police lines of what's happening.
Well, you can do that from there then. Well, that's where we're quite happy for you to be.
Thank you. So extraordinary things going on here. Police forcing the residents of their roads by a show of numbers. and threatening people that are not doing anything wrong with arrests or summonses for. What I want to do is catch any incidents that happen on film, and the police seem to be stopping me and letting other members of the public that are not filming come through. So these people are being treated like football hooligans here. Them filming us, filming them. Police pushing his colleagues from behind. That's how people got injured in Hillsborough. People pushing from behind, and there I saw a police officer doing it, pushing his colleagues from behind. It's not a very professional way to behave.
And if you, by your action, by pressing, by overseeing your duty, if you, by your action, you can be responsible for breaching the peace yourself. You can be responsible yourself for breaching the peace. And we are here relations. And we are waiting for communication, which has been communication which has been refused by AMEY PLC and by the council. Communication is weak. I don't think that we're getting anywhere. So I suggest, especially because the police have said it's not getting involved, I suggest before you do anything yourself, before you decide yourself, make the personal choice first and turn forward, or to say any words without either.
Forget as in court!
So we are not moving, and so shouldn't you. We are not moving, and so shouldn't you. And Bob, I see you too. We are not moving, and so shouldn't you. We are not moving, and so shouldn't you. We are not moving, and so
Reinforcements arriving. So they call forwards and then start pushing people. Hold the line, he shouts. Hold the line like it's a riot. These are residents of this street here.
Why don't you move forward, and then you won't be blocking the way?
Gradually move forward.
Having to leave that area, otherwise I'd be squashed by the van.
For his master's dominion. Forward. Day and night.
Police are shouting forward and then pushing the crowd up the road.
Can I see your back? Hands forward. That's what it says there. Okay. The police have said, can I understand, the police have said it's not getting involved. Sir, I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you a question. Arrest me, sir. I am going. I'm asking you. Stand for 4. It's just a Hillsborough operation.
The crowd were pushing in Hillsborough, now it's the police here. Pushing from behind.
You need to watch what you're doing, mate. People can't just disappear. If you push him, yeah. We told you.
Amy! Out! Amy! Out! Amy! Out!
Gentlemen, you're all doing your duty.
Don't trip on these barriers, they're lethal. Be careful of that trip hazard there, officer, that AMEY have left for us. This is what they want to do. They want to make trip obstacles like this.
We're giving you that offer. This gentleman help you up then. Thank you. Justin.
Nice job you got there, mister. Be careful there, you'll fall over on the tree that they felled. This is what the council did months ago. This is what this is all for, so that they can make safe the road like this. If I was stood there, I'd get arrested for obstruction of the highway, but AMEY can just obstruct the highway for months.
Swing this round.
Keep going around.
AMEY out!
AMEY out! AMEY out! AMEY out! AMEY out! AMEY out! AMEY out! AMEY out! AMEY out! AMEY out! AMEY out! AMEY out!
Maybe you should.
Right, yeah.
Go up against social service. We all always
Move around this side a little bit. Encourage people to go to that side of the road.
So now they're pushing them onto the footpath where they were threatening to arrest me earlier for standing.
Stand by, because
Obviously, what he's saying about people isn't broadcastable.
Come on then, somebody just take it to the side. Come on, you're right, come on. Don't take it to the side. Come on. All right.
Move another face this way if we can. That's good.
It's about, we just need to speak to your parents about you being here. Alright. So I'm not the one to stop you from doing this, whether they tell me here. What now? It was his mum who brought him into doing it. Just give him your mum's number. Just give him your mum's number. Just say the garden.
Officer, you are taking the personal charge to do that. I am doing, yes. No, do you have the order to do that? Yes, if you can. No. You do not. Legal safeguard. Can I have your sergeant and the affidavit back your sergeant that you are here? Can I have an affidavit that you are here to serve the public?
Well, you are causing issues because you're breaking 303 by...
I'll get it done. Yeah, PLT is just busy with something.
Pardon? Alright. Well, I don't know, possibly. Intimidation? It's not intimidation, no surprise. Is a consequence of being here that you could possibly be arrested? Yes, it is.
So,
Rather than on the road, so another 2 foot backwards.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to ask them, well, they're going to be going onto that pavement, I'm going to ask one to go onto the pavement.
we're filming what's going on.
Right, but you can film it from 2 foot further back.
You can't see over the can't see over the heads of the police officers.
You have to move off the road. Listen to me. If you don't move off the road, you are committing an offence. Yes. Under 303 of the road.
I'm not going to get in the way of that vehicle.
Right, so just move on to there.
I'm just trying to
Section 303 is if somebody's got a lawful right, i.e. the council and AMEY through them as a contractor, to do work to maintain the road, to maintain the use of the road. If somebody's then stopping them doing that work, then they commit an offence.
So you can't quote the act to me?
I don't have to quote the act. I can quote spirit of the act. I don't have to quote it. I don't have to quote it for you word for word. I do.
Go on, say it's unsafe. Just call it
unsafe. So if I'm asking you to move off the road, and you're not moving, then you are willfully obstructing, aren't you?
Call it unsafe.
You are obstructing this vehicle just here in order to do the work on the road.
Right, so you're prepared to injuries.
You're willfully obstructing.
People are protesting.
So all I'm asking people to do, all I'm asking people to do is go on the pavement.
Potentially, but you have the capacity to call it off.
Very, very embarrassed.
You could call it.
Why is that?
Because no, I can't. It's not my fault. But you phoned through and you can too. But you could though, couldn't you?
You are starting there.
It's not my fault. I keep telling you. It's not my decision. But who's phoning into your boss then about this?
That's one of my colleagues who's doing that. It's not me though.
Right.
Because I'm talking.
Can he not call it in?
He's aware of everything that's taking place.
Right. Because somebody will get hurt, won't they?
They were using a chainsaw on a tree that someone was in earlier on.
They weren't using a chainsaw.
They were. I've got film.
I never saw a chainsaw. I certainly saw a small saw.
No,
a chainsaw.
It was a chainsaw. You're not keeping an eye on what these people are doing.
It's not my job to keep an eye on what they're doing. That's their health and safety issue, not ours.
But that was unsafe.
Can we just move forward, Lee?
The CPS said there wasn't a case.
Right, okay. In that basis, let's just move forward, Lee. On a case-by-case basis. So I'm asking you to go out to the road so that you are obstructing there.
I don't believe I'm obstructing you. You can go back down there. You can do what you want.
Josh, that's kind of being down to a court to decide. I'm giving you an opportunity. I'm giving you an opportunity. Right, if that's what you want to do, that's no issue at all. But I'd like you to step out of the way so I can take your details.
You do realise that you are threatening people with a £10,000 civil court action. It's quite a nasty thing to do, just by pointing that thing at people. It is intimidating. It's not a very nice job you've got. People have to face civil injunction cases. When it's thrown out of court, the council, at thousands of pounds to the cost to them, the council call it a technical issue, thrown out on a technical issue, when the judge threw it out without any evidence being given by the defence. And you're threatening more of that by filming them. That's what you're doing, you're threatening people with court action, escalated into tens of thousands of pounds.
What I'm saying to you is, if you want to test that in court, that is absolutely fine. But I'm asking you to get out of the way. What do you mean if we have legal advice for it?
Have you had legal advice?
We know
about Section 303.
Right, Section 303. I've just told you whether
But,
we don't need a. We don't need a.
You're maintaining that I'm in breach of Section 303.
Yes, I am.
Right, so have you had legal advice about that, or is that your opinion?
That's my opinion, which
Right,
actually
so
would count in this case.
Have you got legal advice? Have you had legal advice about that?
I'm unsure if it forces have legal advice.
Right.
They are protesting for the rights.
How do we get legal standing?
In itself.
How do we get legal standing in the first place? In itself.
No, that's
right. Actually, that's not true.
It's the ring fence which
the costs are completely borne by a private contractor, not the taxpayer.
Yeah. I want to take
then that will be up to
2.2 billion to maintain our roads. And in that 25-year contract, yes. And inside that contract, there's a clause that says costs of protest borne solely by the contractor, not the risk. The only reason it's costing the contractor is because you guys around here supporting it.
So it is costing the public process.
Yeah, but you can choose not to do this.
We can't choose to. We don't.
Yeah, but the people that have told you can choose.
Is that what you don't
Yes.
what I thought?
No, I completely understand your position, but it's not costing the taxpayer. Well, that's what the council like people to believe, and it's not true. I am recording somewhere here, by the way.
This gentleman here.
Just be aware that there's disinformation out there.
Well, I won't say it's disinformation because I'm here working and I should be in another location. So I've still got other words.
Yes, yeah, and it's wrong.
There is a cost implication there.
There is, yes, and it's a political decision.
There's senior coppers today here with the police officers.
They point it out to go
If you would like to go and tell him what your concerns are to assist with the risk assessment, I'm sure that would be more than satisfactory. Right, so back to the same situation. Are you going to be willing to do that? Just to the side, so what would you consider? No, I mean,
Why aren't they being arrested for such
because it's being caused by the people in front of it.
We're just sort of...
You're on the road when you shouldn't be on the road.
We're just on
between ourselves.
Okay.
Okay, that's the difference.
Right.
The road when you should be on the road.
Yeah, which is obstruction. Yes.
Yeah. So,
But you're obstructing us because we're just here in congregation. We're just peacefully protesting.
So that's fine. So if we step off this road, are you all going to move off the road then? Or are you going to continue to congregate and block the road? Yeah, but how are we obstructing you when I'm saying to you, if we move off, therefore we wouldn't be obstructing anyone, are you going to move off?
You've had the opportunity to turn around and go around.
Yeah, but that isn't what's going to be done, is it? Yeah? That isn't what's going to be done. You're willfully obstructing. But you are willfully obstructing this road. By saying they can go round, are you not willfully obstructing?
are you saying obstructing the road? That's different. Because they don't need to come on this bit of road to do their road.
But they are going to need to come onto this road, and they are coming up this way, so to ask them to reverse down and to change the way they're going...
Rather than do a risk assessment, they decide to turn around. It's less bullshit.
No, I did at one point.
Not sure what these people are doing here. From what I understand, lorries don't normally drive on the footpath, but they seem to be forming a line to stop people walking down the footpath here, as you saw earlier when I was being obstructed.
Verbal obstruction of the highway.
This guy is not actually obstructing the passage of that truck. either you, he's just making a protest.
A yellow jacket and me, I am complicit. I work for AMEY today for your city. I am complicit. Verbal affection, I am explicit. I am complicit. My yellow jacket and me, I am complicit. I work for AMEY. I destroy the city. I am destroyed it. Complicit. I am complicit. This is explicit.
I'm just filming, I'm not going to obstruct anything. They managed to let me through this time.
Make sure my mum gets a copy.
My name's David Glasgow on my YouTube video.
Yours, sorry?
David Glass YouTube
right, well,
channel.
Will we be on?
Yeah.
You might need a bigger phone.
I need a phone.
Oh, you need a new screen on that as well.
I broke it the other day trying to film.
It's only a 2-door tune because, you know,
Well, I'm stood next to a lorry here. I'm definitely not obstructing the passage of the lorry.
No.
And the guy in front of me is not stood in front of the lorry either. But here we've got the evidence gatherers coming to film here. And there's an implicit threat there that they'll take out a civil injunction, ramp up the employer barrister, and ramp up the costs to 10,000 plus, and then try and bankrupt this guy for not obstructing a lorry. That's the threat that those people are using by pointing their cameras at it.
Speak English, because I need translators. The messages. Oh, I'm peacefully protesting here, down on the street, and I've been purged and alcohol members as well. Because all these guys are personally decided to